Thank you for watching the Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown, presented by Valvoline. Let's get back to the show.
Welcome back. You are about to watch the championship build of the 2022 Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown, presented by Valvoline, still on Racing America.
And now it is time to get the championship build underway. So let's head over to the build floor. Mr. Hendrick, please get us underway.
Okay. Builders, ready?
And with that, our championship build has gotten underway, and we're going to see what these two teams bring to the table. Right there, you're seeing Danny Emmerich and his partner Brad Houston on build floor number 2. And they are going head-to-head with Scott Vester right there, his partner Stephen Moore. And between Danny and Scott, they have 10 championships in the Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown.
Feeling good, catching your breath. Back.
And remember, the record time is 21:40. We saw 21:45 earlier this afternoon. So we'll see if they go for the record or just for the win.
And both of our Hendrick Automotive Group competitors, Brad Houston and Stephen Moore, making their championship round debuts.
And both of our Hendrick Motorsports builders, Scott Vester and Danny Emmerich, their build times in their qualifying runs were career best for both of them. So everybody just bringing their A game here today.
And this is not their first time going head-to-head for Danny and Scott. They've actually competed multiple times. This is the 3rd instance where the two of them have gone against each other on the build floor for the championship. And we mentioned this being both Danny and Scott's 3rd head-to-head competition against each other. And we're hearing we actually have footage from that. That happened back in 2016 and 2017. So let's take a look at that before we get back to today's action. So right there, you're seeing the 2016 championship build. Danny and Scott both a part of that on their respective teams. Danny holding the hardware. And then the 2017 championship, again, Scott Vester and Danny Emmerich. And so now this is their 3rd competition going head-to-head against each other. Danny took home the hardware in 2016 and 2017, so you got to imagine Scott is pretty hungry.
Yeah, the 2-time they've met each other, and Danny in the final, and Danny has won both. 10 championships between the two of them, just incredible. All right, well, we talked about Craig Anderson being here to flip the coin. He's with Jimmy Thompson now.
Thanks, Ralph. Yeah, Greg, certainly someone who knows a lot about horsepower, the pilot of the HendrickCars.com Pro Stock in the NHRA. You were here last year, Greg. This just seems to get better and better every year. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's incredible. First of all, I was blown away last year, and you know what I decided first and most? I can learn something when I come over here. This is, it's beyond impressive. I've got about 15 guys that work in my shop, and I certainly consider them highly skilled and very, very good at what they do. I'm going to bring them over next year because I think we could learn something from these guys. So it's a cool event. It's when the pressure's up like this and you can function, that's what means everything.
Well, I would say, you know, you have Pomona coming up. We're going to give them some space to build, but we have Pomona coming up, and you have to have your sights set on taking home another victory. What are your expectations for California?
Yeah, it's time to win. I need to stop messing around and get back to real business. If you're not first, you're last. And unfortunately, this year I'm going to finish last because I'm not going to be first. But I can still finish second, and that's still an accomplishment for the year. So I need to go out and tell myself it's time to win again. Enough mucking around. It's time to go out and get the job done. So I feel good about it. It's one of my favorite racetracks. So yeah, itching to get there and be on track tomorrow at noon.
Well, you're being pretty modest if you say finishing last more than first. But I will say 100 career wins. Congratulations, a milestone. NHRA. Certainly an impressive feat. What does that mean to you to be tied with John Force for that number?
Well, it means the world, and obviously I look up to John Force. Everybody in drag racing does. So just to be mentioned with him is incredible, and to finally get that 100th win this year. It took a little while. To get it done, but that's the way it should be. You should have to sweat it out, and I certainly did, but I got it done at the biggest race of the year at Indy, my favorite racetrack, so I really couldn't have written a better story. So yes, even though I didn't win the championship this year, it's still a pretty solid year, and I'm going to remember that win forever.
Well, Greg, thanks for joining us. Best of luck in Pomona.
Thank you very much, guys.
And we just passed the 5-minute mark on the build floor.
See some pistons being pulled through there. Don't underestimate what it takes to get those pistons in correctly and not have the bearings fall out, right, Brian? We had a couple of bearings that kind of spun around on us.
On a couple different occasions, we had that's another role of the judges' play, is they actually get to watch and see if anything like that does happen to make sure the engines don't get damaged themselves.
Yeah, the judges play a crucial part here. They will call a timeout if they see something that is unsafe or something that would damage the engine.
And if you're just joining us for this championship build, all week long our competitors have said ideally you want the engine flip, which is one of the crucial portions and kind of marks the halfway point, to be at 8 minutes and 30 seconds is typically the goal. Right now we're approaching 6 minutes and 15 seconds.
I find it very interesting how Scott and Danny minimize their steps too, Kim. They very purposeful in their direction, their movement, and it might be a big step, but it's not 3 or 4 steps. It's usually quick movement and right back to the engine block.
And as it stands, the gap between the two teams about 48 seconds, but that will come and go as we work through the course of this championship build. And of course, at the end, they have to fire those engines and have them run for a full, uninterrupted 60 seconds.
Jimmy, 7-minute mark right now. We're getting close to that 8:30, which is when we've been seeing the engine flip for the guys that are on this type of a record.
Yeah, 8:30 was certainly the target flip. Actually, Danny's build, 8:48 was the flip, so about 18 seconds slower than that target number. Obviously made up some more time once the engine was flipped and he was working on the top side. So roughly maybe a minute 20 if we're going to try to keep pace with that initial build. Again, a reminder, this is head-to-head, so whoever's time is quickest of these two, barring any penalties.
Here comes an oil pan, so we're getting close to an engine flip at 7:36.
And again, you heard Scott tell Jimmy in his pre-build interview that they want a clean build. They weren't necessarily going for records, but it certainly could happen here this afternoon. These teams saving their best for this championship build because both Scott and Danny had personal bests with their qualifying builds.
Goes the other end, oil pan going on now at 8:05. Wow, these guys are fast. Man, they're fast.
And they're fast in different areas, too. We've mentioned it before if you're watching the broadcast earlier. Certain builders will acknowledge they are quicker or slower in certain phases of the build. Unanimously, everyone says Scott Vester is the man that sets the pace on this portion of the build. As we see our first flip. 8:29. I'll give him that second. 8:29. But Scott Vester typically is the quickest person in the building on the lower part of the build. Danny is hopeful that he can make up some time once that engine flips.
And taking home the hardware important, the pride that comes with that, but also a reminder, each member from this year's winning build team will receive one of the incredible Napa toolboxes you see on set with us today. And then the runners-up aren't going home empty-handed. They'll each take home one of the versatile mobile Napa tool carts featured in the Valvoline engine
There we
shop.
go.
And there you go. You have it.
906.
So we want to thank Napa for their support of this year's competition.
Gasket, head, washers. Good to go.
Brian, now that we have the engines flipped on both sides there, I mean, you're going to see cylinder heads go on. And after the cylinder heads, what else will you see?
Well, you can see the Hall effect sensor going in for the timing. Of course, they're going to put the Valvoline oil in there to make sure that it runs. And the anxiety and the pressure of this is amazing. Even watching some of the guys over here watching it have had to stand up and walk away because of the anxiety of watching how this is proceeding.
It's nerve-wracking for sure, exhausting. It's mentally challenging, physically challenging. But these guys are on a roll. This is a great pace. Hall Cinder did not even seem to challenge them at all. Did you see that?
Surprisingly enough, knock on wood so far this year, and I hate to jinx it, I don't want to jinx it, but we have not had a single engine not fire because of a timing issue.
Timing issue, yeah. The timing has been correct every time for the timing belt between the crankshaft and the camshaft, and also that Hall Cinder unit that goes on top is where the old distributors used to go. So these guys have got it dialed in when it comes to timing.
That's Brad Houston right there from Hendrick Lexus, Kansas City. He's competing in his first Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown, and it's an opportunity, he tells us, he's been trying to obtain since he joined the company back in August of 2014. So lots to be proud of. First appearance, and he's in the championship build.
Is that your last one?
Yep.
Might have caught Jim Bliss reminding Scott to breathe. It's amazing how easy it is to forget to do that when you're so focused and in the midst of a competition like this.
Well, Ralph, I find myself holding my breath half the time watching these builds with the excitement. I can only imagine participating in it. You know, looking at these builds, the judges play a crucial role, not only in keeping things fair, making sure that the builds go according to plan, but also being a bit of a coach as well to keep these players motivated. Now, we see our first Valvoline oil going in at 11:57. As a point of reference, we saw oil going in on Danny's qualifying build at 10:45. So we are just past the 12-minute mark. This could be a variation in strategy of maybe they're holding back, but right now, if we're going neck and neck and where everyone's doing identical builds as before, we might say that the build in lane number 2 might be just a hair off of that 21:45 pace, but in lane number 1 with Scott and Steve, the build might be picking up compared to their 22:14 qualifying time that we saw yesterday.
We saw that oil go in. Valvoline, the official lubricants partner for Hendrick Automotive Group and Hendrick Motorsports, presenting today's broadcast. So a big thank you to them. You can visit Valvoline.com to see how their drive to innovate makes an impact in every product they develop.
And he's so quick with those rods.
And it, you know, Brian Trocham and I were talking in between the breaks that it can be very tricky when you're dropping those rods in, right? Because there's a lifter on the bottom, and occasionally it might not seat in that lifter on the lower end, which can cause problems when it comes time to try to fire the engine.
What's that? It's not in or what?
Your side.
Oh.
Jason, we're into the time where risk reward is really going to be crucial at this point.
Well, and at the same point in time, you're still probably 7 minutes from even pressing the start button. I don't know where you start taking risk at this point in time. There's so many bolts left to be put on. But at the same point, if you know that you're behind your pace from the last build, you'll start making risks or taking risks.
Coming up on 14 minutes, right about now. 14 minutes.
Did you just get it?
So you can see the speed wrench there. They're running the bolts down, but the head bolts, the cylinder head bolts do have to be torqued to spec, or that will be a penalty. So that's a very important step. You'll see them come right behind in sequence and pull that torque wrench until it clicks. Each and every head bolt.
You put the 3/8 on right there. Thank you.
You can hear the communication with lane number 1, Scott Vester, telling Steve Moore to put the 3/8 socket on. Scott's doing this while working the speed handle. So on one side, he's using one hand to turn the speed handle. His other free hand, he's handing over the socket to his teammate Steve Moore. Regarding the speed handles, these are unique tools for most of these Hendrick Automotive Group builders. They do not see these on a daily basis in their day-to-day duties. Truthfully, the Hendrick Motorsports competitors do not see these tools that often. Not anymore, but for this competition, many of them will start bringing out the speed handles to use them in practice. Now, Danny Emmerich was telling me, going into this build, that over the last couple of years, he's actually been a little bit slower than he'd like on the speed handles. And part of that is because he's really been dealing with carpal tunnel. He's been wearing a brace on his wrists, and actually, consciously, when he's exercising and doing push-ups, to prepare for this build, he's changing the motion of his hands on his push-ups and exercises to avoid straining that carpal tunnel injury. So, that said, Danny feels he has returned to his championship caliber form that he had the past couple years.
He last won the championship back in 2018. That was his 4th straight back then.
Well, he showed he was on pace earlier this morning. We'll see how he can do. One thing that both Danny and Scott are exceptionally good at is working upside down, if you will. They can stand on either side of the engine and reach over and take care of putting things in their place, which is so difficult to do. The other thing, Roger, that they're both good at is kind of paying attention to what the other guy is doing. They can hear certain things. They know certain sounds, what that means, what tool that means they're using, or what part just got put on or thrown to the floor as they move on to the next piece of the build. So keeping tabs on where your competitor is right now is more important, really, than the clock.
That is so true. Each part kind of has a unique sound to it when you hit it, whether it's a flywheel or a header or torquing the bolts down, what have you. But you know, 117 nuts, 86 bolts, 36 washers. That's a lot to keep up with, and they're not all the same size.
They're not. That's where that tool management comes into play, and you can see these guys changing out sockets, changing out tools, changing out handles as they're progressing.
That's a lot to keep up with.
1730, crossing that mark.
Nice catch.
Ralph, using the air intake as a point of reference to judge where we were based on some of our qualifying times for these two teams. This morning, Danny Emmerich and his teammate Brad Houston, 16:59 is when the intake went on. This build, 17:05. Roughly 15 to 20 seconds later, Scott Vester and Steve Moore set their intake on top of the engine. So neck and neck, to the point where possibly one potential penalty could make the distance.
Absolutely. going to be interesting too, Roger, as we get down to time to fire these engines. Danny Emmerich in his qualifying run waited until everything was pretty much snug tight, air cleaner was on, then they started the engine. See a lot of guys save that till when that 60-second run is going on. See how these guys approach that when they go to fire the engine.
No, I don't think you're going to see that on this build, Ralph. You'll see Danny take every opportunity to fasten or tighten the fasteners during that run. Trust me, he's got it all premeditated on what he can install during the run time. I promise you.
It's a very it's a very fine line between desperation and determination.
Well, we're getting close to an engine fire here, aren't we, Jimmy?
Ralph, you talked about risk to reward earlier. Yeah. Now is your risk to reward. At this point in time is when they start to have to calculate how much can I get done in a minute.
Yeah, and just compounding on that with Jason, I would imagine if one team fires, you would think the competitor knows in their head there's a clock. They want to fire their engine within 30 seconds, hope everything is correct, and then by the grace of maybe misfortune of a potential penalty on the other side, that pulls them back into the lead. But currently you can see Danny Emmerich just peeked over his engine in lane 2 to see where they stand in lane number 1.
20 minutes, 10 seconds right now. 20 minutes, 10 seconds. Here we go.
'" So Danny playing some strategy there, ran over, saw how much time was on the clock, saw that Scott Vester and Steve Moore had not fired, knew that he didn't have enough time to finish securing the nuts and the fasteners. They would have incurred a penalty. Smartly, wisely, shut the engine off, gives them additional 60 seconds to try to finish the engine, knowing that Scott and Steve had not fired yet.
Well, this is going to, the penalty times are going to be crucial on this, for sure. And a 22:14.37.
The situational awareness Danny Emmerich just displayed
Incredible.
is outstanding. And we'll see if that plan of action worked, because again, we do have to tear down these engines and see if there are any penalties, but they are in striking distance, that second team.
This could absolutely come down to one penalty, making all the difference.
It's going to take a while.
And we talked earlier during the week, Jimmy, about how Robert Taylor has developed a timing system to allow us to go so far down into the tenths, hundredths, thousandths of a second. We're going to need every bit of that today.
We need it. We might have to expand that clock another 10 or 12 digits because these competitions are getting closer and closer. And really, you want to talk about history repeating itself. 22-14 qualifying build for Scott and Steve. 22-14 championship build, barring penalties, for Scott and Steve. So you talk about having a method and a rhythm down. They're certainly on it.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Jason Sehorn.
Well, they're trying to catch their breath right now. The first thing I want to talk to you about, Danny, is early on when you're trying to put the pistons in, you were struggling with there. What was going on there?
I got a little behind on talent, honestly.
That will happen at times. The second thing was you guys started the engine. It was rolling. At what point did you realize something was amiss?
Well, I couldn't tell if theirs was running, and I knew the clock was ticking like crazy, and I knew we had 11 valve cover nuts on the right side to get tight. The math, I did the quick math in my head, and it just wasn't working, and so I couldn't hear it, so I ran over there. That's what I did. I wanted to see their tachometer, and I saw it wasn't running, so made the beeline back out of desperation, and that's what you got to do when you race guys this good. So
your math was correct because they weren't tight, and you probably couldn't have got them done if it was on the original start, correct? Yeah. For you, what'd you think about your second build?
A little bit more nerves, I guess. I mean, it didn't go as smooth as the first time, I guess.
I'm going to say, based on your response right there, it was a little bit more nervy for you. But hey, you guys still put up a respectable 22 minutes, and you're up by 11 seconds, 13 seconds. Not bad.
Great job by Danny and Brad. And man, what a call by Danny Emmerich to know and have the foresight that he was not going to have enough time to tighten everything.
That's a first, isn't it?
It is. All right, let's head back down to the build floor where Jimmy has caught up with our other team.
Well, Steve and Scott, you certainly have the 22:14 timed build down. Did that build feel any different than what you did yesterday?
Felt a little more nervous. Just trying to keep myself together, and it didn't work as well as I thought it would, but never does.
So do the nerves start to subside as the build progresses, or is it constantly something you're dealing with throughout the entire 22 minutes?
It's all about getting your mind settled and on the task that you're in the middle of. That's the hardest part, is getting rid of the nerves that are there from the go.
Well, Scott, consistency is key. 22:14. If there is a penalty on the other side, you might jump ahead. How confident are you in your build?
Pretty much zero.
Well, is there a risk of trying to go as fast, and especially when you hear the engine fire on the other side of the aisle, it has to register in your head, I need to fire this engine up just to stay in contention?
Well, I went to fire it once, and then I forgot to put the cover on, and, that's the thing is, he did a fantastic job, and you pick up in other areas, but when it's that quick, then I've never made that mistake before, but I just did it today, so, got that, but then, it's just wild how I felt like it was better, and we fixed a lot of things, but yeah, it was the same. So I think I fumbled a lot on the top and struggled with, almost left the bolt loose on the valley tray and saw it at the very last, and that's just what happens when I knew we had just say 25 seconds. I wasn't going to start immediately after him, because at that point it's already in the bag. So all you're counting on at that point is maybe a penalty. So. But partner did a fantastic job. I'm proud of him. There were many spots there where I can usually pull ahead to get us going for the next one, but he was right there the whole time. I could never really get ahead, so that's good, but it's also bad because then it like your plan is, it seems like every part of your plan has to change, and then you have to evolve that plan. Try to be good on tool management. He did a great job on the things that we wanted to fix, we fixed, but then other things pop up. That's how it goes.
Well, Ralph and Kim, when the 6-time champion is still trying to make adjustments mid-build, you know how tough this competition is.
No doubt about it, and that's what you have to do. These guys are pushing every step of the way, Kim.
Yes, and we've just been joined by a special guest from Napa, Steve Knoyson, and we talk about these competitors competing for pride and bragging rights, but they don't go home empty-handed.
No, they don't. It's good to see you guys again.
You too.
Good to be back. My heart is racing right now, and I'm trying to catch my breath. No, they're not going empty-handed again this year. We got some beautiful Carlisle toolboxes back here, and we decided this year we're going to load them with even more tools. About that, and these guys, they're going to use every one of them. And on the other side, we got those beautiful Napa carts over there, and we got some tools in those carts too.
And those are for the runners-up.
Those are for the runners-up, and yeah, I tell you what, my heart's still racing. I don't know about you guys.
It was great, wasn't it?
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal.
So many things we can't do without great partners around here, and Napa and Hendrick organization as a whole have really found a tremendous partnership in finding good service techs.
Oh, this is from training to doing motorsports to doing the dealerships. This is from the top down in Napa. We're just so proud to be a partner with the Hendrick organizations. It's unbelievable partnership.
And you guys stepped in to be the presenting sponsor of our inaugural rookie relay build. How cool was that?
That's pretty awesome. I mean, Alan Bass and his folks, every year it's just amazing. It grows, gets bigger and bigger. It's such a phenomenal partnership. I can't wait to see what we have for 2023. To be honest with you, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you again for being a part of this competition. Thanks for the stools back here. Kim and I loved them. We used them quite a bit this year. Very helpful. We appreciate
Well,
that.
you know what? You guys take them home. You look pretty comfortable on them.
We were. They were great.
And enjoy them.
Steve, we appreciate it.
Can't wait to see you back here again next year as we do this again. So you think you'd like to have a career at Hendrick? Here's how you can go about having one.
I'm proud to call myself a Hendrick teammate.
We look out for each other.
We are family.
I find it really fun and rewarding to get those cars that are really difficult. Maybe they've been in a couple times and no one can seem to fix them, or it's a really intermittent problem, and being able to find that and fix that for the customer.
See the vehicle go through its process, and then at the end make a customer happy knowing that their car went from being completely wrecked to literally being brand new.
I think the biggest thing about Hendrick is the people.
I come here and I enjoy my job every day, and I really think it stems from the top because the culture here, everyone's part of the team. You feel it from the top to the bottom of the bottom.
Parts department advisors, sales, technicians, we all try to work together to make sure that we're getting things done efficiently, correctly. We are one big team.
Just the amount of care that they give to the employees and their community around. I don't see any other dealerships doing the kind of programs that we do to help. I mean, it's just, it's incredible the amount of care that he puts into the employees and the community around us.
I'm proud to work for a company
that puts people first.
It's not any way.
It's the Hendrick way.
Insurance and benefits plays a lot bigger role than anything else. Having that, in the back of your mind, not worrying about it, is huge.
I have a daughter and then my son is 28. They both received the Ricky Hendrick Scholarship Fund when they was going to school. If anybody knows, if you got kids and you're trying to put them through college, it definitely, anything helps.
My favorite thing about working here is that they're willing to send you to training. I've learned a whole lot. I've already got 3 of my ACs now. Just really nice working for a company that is willing to invest in you.
Hendrick covers 100% of any ASE testing that you want to take, as well as all the manufacturer training.
We really strive to hire the best of the best technicians. Whether they're already experienced and trained or whether they're just graduating from a tech school, we really try to hire smart, and then we want to build on that. And so I think the difference between us and another company could be that we don't skimp on training. Training never ends.
To take somebody that's right out of technical college and be able to see them grow and be able to get on their own and start producing hours and their own work is very, very rewarding to see that come about.
I am a direct reflection of what this shop has to offer because when I started here, I had absolutely no idea about fixing a car. And just throughout the years, I've worked with different technicians that are strong in certain areas, and I've been able to just kind of acquire this big, broad knowledge of vehicle repairs. Some of the times I'll walk by a technician and they'll be doing something similar, if not exactly the way that I was doing it or the way that I told them to do it. It's kind of one of those proud moments because you walk by and you're like, yeah.
So the earning potential with our company as an automotive service technician or a collision center service technician is quite tremendous. I mean, it's really up to the individual. Think of it like this. You learn, you turn, and you earn. In the learn bucket, get all the knowledge you can. Build your arsenal of credentials. So with the knowledge, you're going to have a higher level of hourly rate. You're going to have a better ability to produce and turn hours. And so that's going to equal earnings.
The reason you want to come work here is we have new facilities. We always have tool trucks rolling around. The benefits, huge. The steady stream of work, we never have an issue. I haven't slowed down in the past year and a half, but also that team setting, knowing that you have a big name behind you, you can hold your head up when somebody asks you where you work. This is where I work. I work for Hendrick.
If it has the name Hendrick attached to it, it is all about the people. So before we announce the winner of the 2022 Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline, we wanted to take a moment to do a special Victory Bell celebration. It's a tradition here at Hendrick Motorsports, and Kyle Larson wanted to share the experience with his partners at Hendrick Automotive Group. And this celebration is in recognition of Kyle's NASCAR Cup Series victory at Homestead Miami Speedway.
All right, and we're standing here with, go ahead, Kyle, ring that bell. Let it rip. And Jeff Andrews from Hendrick Automotive Group and Hendrick Motorsports joins us. Ringing that bell is pretty special around here, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's a very special occasion for us, and something we started doing many years ago to try to kind of bring the Victory Lane celebration back here to the shop and give the crew chief and driver and others a chance to really get in the different shops and celebrate some with the people who are really, kind of the ones behind the scene that are making this happen for us.
And you guys had a fantastic season, all 4 of your drivers winning races. How much of it was a change, though, and a transition with this new car?
Well, it was, Kim. I'll tell you, we are so proud of our people here. We had a great year at the end of the day to get to Phoenix and have cars in that championship hunt, and part of that Final Four is just an accomplishment in itself. But really everything that this organization did this year to get ready for the unprecedented change, with a new car, and really this time last year, if you were to walk into our shops, you would have seen no race cars sitting there, really not until the mid part of January. So proud of everybody and the job that everybody did and the preparation in the cars, and we put up a good fight, and we'll take a week or two and breathe a little bit here, not much, and we'll get focused on 2023.
Yeah, you guys can't rest for very long because you got a lot coming up. Daytona right around the corner, and then, you guys are going to Le Mans in 23 with the Garage 56 program.
Yeah, that's we're actually going to test with that car on Tuesday in VIR, so it'll be the first time that car's on track. So we'll be back on the racetrack here early part of next week.
Fantastic. Always exciting around here.
And we're hearing the bell behind us again. Kyle Larson winning at Homestead Miami Speedway just a few weeks ago, and wanted to share that celebration. And Jeff, how special is it? Typically, this just gets to happen at the shop, in the Hendrick Motorsports engine shop, and those guys get to partake. But to have the Hendrick Automotive Group representatives be here and get to witness the camaraderie, what's that like?
Well, it's this event, as we all know, is very special to us, and gives the opportunity for these 2 great companies to come together and do great things together, and to have our partners here and all these folks from Automotive Group here to be able to celebrate in this victory from Homestead and ring the bell with Kyle and Cliff. We appreciate them and all they do for us, and they make us proud, whether we're on the road and seeing their different dealerships and how they do work. We hope we make them proud on Sundays, and it's just a little opportunity for us to share that.
And no surprise, Kim, that here at Hendrick Motorsports, they'd have a really cool rig to wheel that bell around on. Very exciting. Well, one of the reasons why they get to ring that bell around here quite a bit is because of Randy Dorton, who this Engine Builder Showdown is named after, of course. Randy was a legend here, and not only in horsepower, Jeff, but in culture and what he helped set up here.
Well, he certainly was, Ralph. I was fortunate enough to be hired by Randy in the later part of 1991, and really owe a lot to him personally for kind of guiding me and mentoring through me this company, as he did so many people that you see out here today. And as you said, obviously a wizard with an engine, and he gets a lot of credit for many of these banners and trophies that you see around here, but also the people. Mr. Hendrick has and preaches a culture about people first, and they're our most important asset. And Randy was that. He got that, and he lived that, and he breathed that. And I think it's a testament to all the great folks that work here today, and many folks that are still a part, maybe not of motorsports, but other racing teams in key positions as well, worked for Randy at one time.
Let's introduce you to more about Randy Dorton.
It's great that we get to do this in honor of Randy Dorton. I think that's what this is all about.
Randy Dorton was an engineering genius. He was an innovator, and he did more than just the engines. He helped build this whole company. And no one was loved any more than Randy Dorton.
You know, he's always been considered the best.
Randy's motors have made drivers out of a lot of people.
The engine shop you see today was Randy Dorton's dream. Keeping that dream alive means a lot to these guys, means a lot to me.
Randy was a great friend and kind of like a father figure. A lot of the stuff that he taught me, I'm still realizing today.
You felt like he was really mentoring you. You know, his culture still lives on here.
It's very important to us that have been here and carry on his legacy and try to feel, you know, that there's part of Randy Dorton with us every day when we come to work and when we leave.
He's looking down at us right now and he's got a big smile on his face, I guarantee you.
All right, well, the bell ringing ceremony just about done here. Jeff, thank you so much for coming by and joining us today.
Thank you both.
Appreciate it. Best of luck in 2023.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon. All right, Kim, let's go back down to the build floor. This time, Scott Maxim has something he'd like to present.
Hello, hey, Mr. Hendrick. Wanted to take this opportunity, one, to thank you on behalf of our engine shop, and also all our folks in the engine shop have made a trophy, handcrafted trophy for you to honor and commemorate your victory, Kyle and the 5 team last year, the Charlotte World 600. Making you the winningest team owner and organization in NASCAR history. We want to thank you. And we have this trophy right here that's the pistons, connecting rods, and valves from that engine for you, and thank you very much. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Everybody from our shop, you know, you're our leader. It's our engine shop, but we think of you as really it's your engine shop, and it's an honor for us to be there with you every day. So thank you, Kyle and Cliff. Thanks for mashing the gas and getting that win.
Well, boy, this means a lot. When I guess a few years back we started looking at the wins and thinking, and I remember the number we had to get to beat Petty, and I thought I'd never get this done in my lifetime. And so to win that race and move ahead, all-time record was really special. I love trophies, but boy, this one is really special. This means an awful lot. And thank you, everybody in the engine shop, for what you do, and Kyle, you and Cliff, for bringing that deal home. And now we're looking at 300. How many more we have to have now? 9? 9 more to 300. And we need to get there, right? 300? And what's the official count on engine shop wins? I know we have to have it audited because I got out ahead of myself. Thought we were at 500. Real close. You better audit that and give me the real number. Real close only works in horseshoes, right? No, but I'll tell you, I mean, I never dreamed that the engine shop would have 500 wins, and looking at 300 wins with the teams and race wins, and so really, really thankful. And I'm not sure if I'm out of turn here because I know we're going to announce a winner, and so is that what we're going to do next?
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're going to take
Give us a second.
Okay,
I've
got another minute.
You listen, it's your building. You can talk as long as you'd like. We're all here for you.
Everybody will tell you I never follow the instructions, okay? So, but now this means so much to me. All the people that helped make this possible. I want to thank Napa and Valvoline. Would you give them a hand? They're without partners like that, you know, we use their oil in the dealerships. Napa, we use their parts, and Napa does training for us. So they're important on the dealership side, and they help us in the racing side. So without them, we couldn't do what we do. But thank them for this. This thing has turned into something so special. I look at this production, and I can't believe where we've come from to what it is today. And there's so many folks at HAG, I can't name them all, that have to prepare for this and plan for this and get the people here and plan for events. So everybody from HAG that's involved, would you raise your hand? Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. Let's give them a hand. A lot of hard work there. And Kevin and team for Jim and Dave, thank you. You guys are retired, but you come back and help us, and I see some new faces. Thank you for being here. Robert, you've done an unbelievable job with the production. Our all-star moderators over here, thank you guys. It's really...
Thanks for having us.
Yes, we love it.
And trust me, just to walk in and see this, you know how much effort and work has gone into it. I told Jeff Andrews, I said, I think we did the right thing to let the season end before we tried to do this in the middle of the season. Beth and all her team, everybody here, it takes so many people to make any organization work. And there are a whole lot of unsung heroes in any company. But I told everybody on the conference call today, it takes every car, every ticket, every single person to have the kind of month and year we're having. And the secret sauce to our company is people. People are our most important asset, and they do it every single day. And that's what sets us apart, the culture, and all the credit goes to our people, whether it's in motorsports or in the automotive group. I feel like I'm the most blessed person alive to be able to be surrounded by such great people. And I walk into dealerships and I see our technicians, and I love to see those signs and banners that say champion. And so it's great for me to be able to recognize the best in the dealership group, the best ASE scores, and to watch them perform here. I know I couldn't do this. I was telling a couple of guys a minute ago that the last time, well, not the last time, but I built a motor to save $250 on an oil pan. I made the pan myself. I put it in a boat, and I forgot that you turn the motor backwards in the boat, so the trap doors for the oil flow was shut off. And I spent $4,000 to save $250. But so I really enjoy watching these guys do it. So I know I'm way off script here, but what's next?
Well,
I think we have a champion, don't we?
We're getting there. We're getting there. We need to take a quick break to set everything up, and then we're going to come right back and introduce those champions. So,
And we have the results, and let me tell you, you don't want to miss it.
yeah, so give us a second. We'll be right back here to the Hendrick Team Center to present those trophies.
Don't go away. You're watching the Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline.
Hendrick Automotive Group is hiring 300 new technicians across the country. Apply now at hendrickcars.com.
You don't drive a generic car. Why would you buy a generic antifreeze? Get the antifreeze made for your exact make and model. The antifreeze that better protects your cooling system. Zerex. Made for your car, made by Valvoline.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Who belongs in Hagerty Drivers Club?
People say we have one-track minds, but that's not true.
Because we drive a lot of tracks.
Well, I've always been a bit sketchy. Ooh, nice lines, Chip.
I'm a know-it-all, but I don't even know it all. That's where these know-it-alls come in.
So if you're into epic driving events,
If you need help finding oddball car parts, good luck.
If you're drawn to red hot talent, then join the club.
UniFirst handles the ongoing year-in and year-out details of all that goes into uniform program management. Quick and accurate delivery, bottom line value, and unparalleled service and customer satisfaction. All designed to empower you and your employees to project the best business image possible.
I think the biggest thing about Hendrick is the people.
Everyone's part of the team. You feel it from the top of the top to the bottom of the bottom.
Being a technician for Hendrick Automotive Group is a great career. With our education, with our partners at Napa and the Build-A-Tech program, with our ASEs, we prepay for your exams. Plus, we have the opportunity for you to share in our toolbox program, in our shoe program, and our uniform program. We love our technicians. We are a fixed first company, and we would love to have you part of our company to continue to grow it.
They do provide you with training, any training that you may need, and none of which you will have to pay for.
Think of it like this. You learn, you turn, and you earn.
Knowing that you have a big name behind you, you can hold your head up when somebody asks you where you work. This is where I work. I work for Hendrick.
Welcome to the new home for race fans, Racing America. Live short track racing. Exclusive team content.
I bet, that's what they all say.
Any NASCAR fan is really a short track fan at heart.
Behind the scenes access. From grassroots to NASCAR, join us at the home for race fans everywhere. Racing America, it's in our DNA.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us, on roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
Welcome back. Thank you for watching this year's Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown, presented by Valvoline.
Well, here we are, ready to go and announce some winners.
That's right. It has been a wonderful 2022 Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline. And like you mentioned, the results are in.
So you want to kick it off?
Well, we have to get a few special people on the floor first. So to get us underway, let's start by introducing our ceremony presenters standing on the showroom floor. You've seen him all day long, all week long in the Valvoline Engine Shop. Roger Mesamore, Vice President of Fixed Operations at Hendrick Automotive Group. And of course, Mr. Rick Hendrick, Chairman and CEO of Hendrick Automotive Group and the owner of Hendrick Motorsports. And Scott Maxim, Director of Powertrain at Hendrick Motorsports.
Okay, and now it's time for the results. So, Kim, why don't you begin with the blue team?
Yeah, we'll start with the blue team. That was Danny and Brad. They had that very fast qualifying time, a very fast championship time. The engine fire for their championship build, 21:01.85. Engine shutdown, 22:01.85. But when they tore the engine down, they did find a penalty. They had one penalty, a loose valve tray bolt, so that's an additional 30 seconds. So as it stands, their final official time, 22:31.85, which, Ralph, opens the door for the possibility of our red team.
Sure does. Scott and Steven, engine fired, 21:14.36. Engine shutdown, 22:14.36. Were there any penalties? Yes, one. A valve cover nut, 30-second penalty. Final time, 22:44.36. Your champions are Danny and Brad. Congratulations, you did it. 22:31.85 to win the 2022 Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline.
What a job by Danny Emmerich and Brad Houston. Brad making his debut in the Engine Builder Showdown.
That?
Amazing.
Show up as a rookie, go home as a champion. Unbelievable. Look at those beautiful trophies. Hoist them high, fellas.
Give it up for your 2022 Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown champions. And they're going home with those awesome Napa toolboxes as well as the hardware.
All right, let's get the runners up. Up next to receive their trophies, Scott and Steven. Congratulations on a stunning time, 22:44.36. They get those trophies, and they get the mobile carts from our friends at Napa that are over in the Valvoline Engine Shop.
Scott Vester and Stephen Moore are runner-ups for this year's Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown.
All right, Jimmy, let's hear from our champions.
Well, we have a couple guys. Their arms are probably pretty tired from the builds, and now they have some nice hardware to go with it. Brad, to win in your first ever build, how excited are you?
This is the greatest experience I've had in a long time, man. This is awesome.
Danny, your fifth title. Every title has been paired with a first-time builder. What's the special sauce with that?
Man, I'll tell you, all my partners, Shane last year, I think it was his third time, he did an awesome job. A lot of times, you know, it comes down to me making mistakes and all that, but I don't know, I kind of have a connection with those younger guys and enthusiasm and excitement. I feed off of that and just kind of revel and enjoy every moment leading up to the competition. So maybe that's it. I don't know, but he was a heck of a partner, just like all of them, and I'm so proud of him. He put in the work. He grinned and bared it, you know, and he said he was all in. So, and he delivered, executed all the way. So, man, that's when it's fun. And hearing stuff like that, how excited he was.
One of the more, I guess, exciting builds where we've seen in the finals where you actually called an audible. Where does this sort of strategy execution rank career-wise in this build for you?
You know, I think just being in this industry, you have to learn to just change course at any moment. And I was just kind of going off of intuition, and I got a little overambitious. You know, you don't let just Scott Vester, you don't take that lightly, right? So you got everything you got, and I just got a little excited, but it worked out.
Brad, obviously we talked about the trophy. other than the fantastic hardware, what is the biggest thing you will take home with you tonight?
Just this whole experience, man. I just getting to come here, see the show, do the build. It was a blast.
Well, Brad, Danny, congratulations. Your 2022 Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown champions.
Great job to Danny Emmerich and Brad Houston. That winning time within 13 seconds of each other, first and second place.
And we knew the penalty at the end might make the difference, and it did. Well, Mr. Hendrick, it's been an incredible week. Thank you again for having us all out here and knowing what you had hoped this event would become. I think when you see what we've had here this week, I think you're spot on with it.
Well, I'm just thinking 13 seconds. 13 seconds difference. I mean, it's hard to be second place with just 13 seconds. One washer? What was it? What was left on one?
Oh, we had one valve cover nut and one valve tray bolt.
Wow. Well, congratulations to everyone. Everyone that competed, all the guys from the dealerships, congratulations. You're the best of the best. You represent our company and all the engine builders. You're the best in the business. Thank you, guys. Tremendous amount of work. I'm so proud of you, and what an awesome deal. We're going to do it again next year, so let's come back and so I know every one of these engine builders want to win this, right? But now Scott has got 6 and Danny's got 5. So you think there'll be some sleepless nights between now and next year? I told Scott he's the most unhappy second place guy I've ever met in my life. But thank everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do for the company. If I missed anybody that helped make this happen today, I apologize. But just an awesome event, and Randy Dorton would be so proud, and just appreciate Jeff Andrews and the team, everybody here, and everybody from HAG. Gary's here, Gary Davis, I saw him somewhere. Everybody supports this. We're all so proud of it. We know what it means to both organizations. So God bless. I hope you have a good Christmas if I don't see you before Christmas. But I look forward to finishing the year, 6 more weeks, and we'll be wrapping up 22. It's hard to believe. And then we roll into 23, and we're going to get another championship in motorsports, and we're going to set all kinds of records in the automobile business. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being here.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hendrick. We greatly appreciate it. What a week it is.
We have had so much fun. We always look forward to this event every single year, and every year gets better. So who knows what 2023 will hold?
Well, one thing for sure will be the 2023 edition of the Randy Dorton Hendrick Engine Builder Showdown presented by Valvoline. We look forward to being back for that.
Cannot wait.
It'll be our 7th together. That'll be a lot of fun. Thank you all very much for joining us. For our entire team, we sure hope you've enjoyed the competition this year. So long for now, and